Hello, it is Wednesday, October 19th, 2022. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Wednesday puzzle today, so midweek puzzle, midweek difficulty. That could, I suppose, mean continuing in the vein of Monday and Tuesday, and it's just a little bit difficult for a hard puzzle, or it could be our gateway into the difficult puzzles of the week. I don't know. We'll have to find out. And this ambiguously difficult puzzle, I don't know why I'm picking this particular puzzle to be the representative of that sort of phenomenon, but in any case, it has been brought to us by Overfull Hitbox, Joseph Schwalbach, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster, the invaluable Timothy Mark, and the indomitable Showmaster. So thank you so much to the five of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign. And if you'd like to join their ranks and get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, you can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve. There's a link in the description field underneath the video, of course, and if you would like to become a backer at any level, you can get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week. And thank you so much to everybody who has done that at any level for any amount. And yes, thank you to all my backers, benefactors, and the rest alike. Do subscribe to the channel as well. You can do that, of course. And you can join the Daily Solve Discord chat server with a link in the description field underneath the video. And it's a nice, friendly community. What else? Do tell a friend. All right, let's get on to the puzzle itself. This is a Wednesday crossword, as noted, and it was constructed by Ryan Patrick Smith. This is Ryan Patrick Smith's second crossword for the New York Times. And it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. It is a Wednesday puzzle, so it will be themed in some manner. And I don't see any circled cells, so we'll have to find out what else is going on. Let's start solving. Game pieces in Othello and Connect 4. Well, those are games that use tiles as their playing pieces. Spot for a speech. Spot for a speech. A dais, or oh right, maybe it is a dais, and then this would be discs, not tiles. Fair enough. So what would this be then? Beer brand whose name translates to morning sun. I'm wondering if this is Asahi, because the sun has resonance with a symbolic resonance with the country of Japan, and Asahi is a Japanese beer, and it's 5 letters starting with A, which is maybe the proximate suspicion. So in any case, that might be the answer. Okay, who blank? That's true of everyone. Who isn't? There we go. That's true of everyone. Who isn't? Relief pitcher's success. This will be baseball. What does this mean? Relief pitcher's success. A save? I have no idea what that means. It just sounds like something that you'd say about baseball. Oh, it was a save. I don't know. Let's put it in and see if it works. Gumbo, e.g., is a stew. So there we go. This might be correct. You cooked this? It's disgusting, said Tom. This will be a theme-related clue. I don't know. Tom, invective? He's throwing invective at your stew? Is that? No idea if that's anything. I'm guessing that Tom will have a punny name. Oh, maybe it's Tom in sort of violent disgust or something like that. I mean, I don't think that's the answer. I'm just using it as an example to explain my thinking. So it's not his name, but rather the manner in which he's saying it, and that will be punny in some way, but I can't quite see it yet. Target of a canine's canines, maybe. So a chew toy, so a dog's canine teeth. That's what's being referred to. Ben Kingsley or Ian McKellen say, well, they have been knighted and have the privilege of being referred to as Sir Ben or Sir Ian. Okay. I was able to see Ian McKellen on stage last year in 2 different plays, and it was very interesting because one was Hamlet, so he played a very young character, and in the other he played a very old character, and it was amazing how much he seemed his age when playing the old character, but actually seemed about a quarter of his age when playing Hamlet. It was really impressive. Anyway, you cooked this. It's disgusting, said Tom. It was the Cherry Orchard, by the way. Sorry, I momentarily forgot the name of the play. Okay, you cooked this. It's disgusting, said Tom. I don't know. What about this? Coyote calls. Bays, coyotes Could bay. You cook this, it's disgusting, said Tom. In verbal? Verbal something? 1 foot in the grave, poetically speaking. I mean, it means you're sort of near death. That doesn't necessarily mean near death in an imminent sense, but it means you're of an age. Oh, so right, so aged, right? Okay. So yeah, you have 1 foot in the grave. It means you're old enough to sort of, I don't know, be at the risk of imminent death, I suppose. Also the name of a great classic British sitcom. Okay, West Texas town in a classic country song. Oh, I don't know. I would have guessed it was Laredo or something. I actually don't know if Laredo's in West Texas. Eesh. That's sort of embarrassing. It could be totally off. Gloom's partner. Doom and gloom? Maybe these are wrong. Formless mass. Maybe I'll delete these. Don't know. Don't know if I'm on the right track. Common word in pirate speak. Yo-ho, ahoy, R. I mean, is it just R? That would be sort of strange. I don't know that I'd call that a word. Provocative, like this answer's position in the grid. Edgy, because it's literally along the edge of the crossword. Oh, so this could be yar. That's closer to a word than R, I think. And a formless mass, a glob. Gloom's partner, it is doom. What is this? Wow, that's a clever clue. Okay, this isn't bays, it's probably yips. Okay. 1 foot in the grave, poetically speaking, is, so the poetic bit is important. I read poetically speaking as just being, meaning we were using metaphorical language. So obviously you don't literally have 1 foot in the grave. But I should have paid more attention to the fact that the grave was in quotation marks. Because I think in my reading, the entirety of 1 foot in the grave would have been in quotation marks to indicate we're referring to that idiom, or none of it would be. So anyway, this is referring to the phrase the grave, in which the is unstressed and grave is stressed. The grave, that's an iamb, a metrical unit of poetry with an unstressed followed by a stressed syllable. And one of the 2 feet in that would be an iamb. No, that's not true. The whole thing is an iamb. So one of, right, okay, so is that, Now I've confused myself, I'm sorry. So 1 foot in the grave. Oh, because there's one iamb in the grave. That is a single iamb. Okay, there we go. Anyway, sorry. So this is in very poor taste. There we go. You cook this, it's disgusting, said Tom, in very poor taste. Yeah, that's clever. So we're forming these puns that are going to have double meanings, one of which is literal and one of which is, I guess, more idiomatic. So it was in poor taste for Tom to say that because it was sort of a tactless comment, but also he said it because the meal itself tasted poor in his estimation. Okay, so we'll see more of those as we complete the puzzle. West Texas town in a classic country song is El Paso. There we go. That's another classic sounding Texas town. And bugle call at lights out, or that's taps, the sort of military bugle melody. Okay, particularly particular. Anal as in anal retentive, I would imagine. And a charge for tardiness is a late fee. Let's go back up and look at this. Peace out could be simply see ya, see you later. Goddess with a reduplicative name. Isis, so it's reduplicative because we literally duplicate its syllables in that way. And bird, oh, that's funny. Bird with a reduplicative name, the nene. Same exact concept. So there we go. And John of the Suicide Squad. John Cena is an actor and I want to say a former wrestler. So I think this must be the answer. It looks like it fits pretty well. Yeah, spot for a sojourn is an inn, so you could be on a journey and stop at an inn. And then what about this? Scorch on a stovetop to sear something. You could scorch it on a stovetop. And then what about this? What do you mean there are no PlayStations left in stock? Asked Tom. Inconsolate? because he was inconsolate, inconsolably. There we go. Sorry, I had to just land on which of the correct console-related pun. In this case, referring to the PlayStation as a video game console, and also to Tom's distraught state. He is inconsolable, so he asked the question inconsolably. What is this Tom all about? What is significant about Tom? It's obvious they're obviously all going to be him. I wonder why. Anyway, we'll get there. To not be straight with someone is to lie to them. And a TVET, a TV extraterrestrial, television extraterrestrial, could be ALF, which I think stood for Alien Life Form and was that sort of puppet character from 1980s sitcom, I guess. Well, blank be. Well, I'll be. And if you're competent, you're able. You're able to do the thing, able to solve the crossword. Support group associated with the 12 steps. That's AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, or Al-Anon. Way to abbreviate that. And 7 foot, say, would be certainly a tall person. A person was 7 foot tall, they would be tall. So outings devoted to relaxation and self-care, spa days probably. And an employee at a brick and mortar business could be a mason, someone who literally engages in masonry. Not Freemasonry, but not the sort of secret society version, but just brick and mortar masonry. Musical bit that slowly fades. An outro often does that in popular music anyway. And what happens when the blank clears over Los Angeles? UCLA. Oh, I've never heard this one before. So you see it. You see Los Angeles when it clears. And of course, that's also the name of the university, UCLA. Okay, Cézanne or Gauguin, those were Paul's artists, painters named Paul. Paul Cézanne, Paul Gauguin. All right, close in many close-ups. Oh, Glenn Close, the actor. Right. Is her name pronounced Glenn Close or Glenn Close? Glenn Close. I think it's Glenn Close. Okay, and here we have festoon, to festoon something with decorations to adorn it. There we go. And lip is what? Sass. So not lip as in the edge of something, and not lip as in the body part, but rather lip as in being a bit fresh with somebody. Okay, if you are nowhere to be found, say, you are maybe AWOL, away without leave or away without official leave, as we keep returning to in these crosswords. Grief-stricken state could be woe. And a brewery vessel is a vat. You could brew in big vats. Pastry dough used in crullers and beignets is what? What kind of pastry dough is used in those things? Is it choux pastry? I don't know. I'm not a very accomplished baker, but I mean, that is a kind of pastry dough, so that might be it. What about this? Behold, Latin, ecce, as in ecce homo, behold the man. So that could be it. And what about this? Is connected. I'm not sure. What about this? Genre for Luther Vandross, soul music. So there we go. Straightforward enough. And blank and I know it. Sexy and I know it. This is certainly a song I've at least heard before, so I recognize that. And, that was connected to another thing. So 52, electronic dance music duo that performed at the 2022 Super Bowl halftime show. It's strange that I don't quite understand what's going on here. It's highlighting 36 down, but it's not referring to it. Does that mean this is the electronic dance music duo responsible for that song? It's not, I mean, that's fine, that's fair enough, but it's very weird that if so, this clue doesn't refer to it, because how would you solve this in a newspaper when you don't have automatic highlighting? I don't think I've seen this before, where they don't have the actual text bit. They just have the highlighting. That's very surprising to me. But I don't know the name of the duo, so it's kind of immaterial at the moment. Fervent, as in a fervent fan of someone or something, could be an avid fan or whatever else. A sailor in slang could be a tar. It's a good one for solving cryptic crosswords. British cryptic crosswords is a sailor is a tar. Sailor is also AB for able-bodied sailor, or a sailor could be a salt, as in a sort of old sea salt. So these are all useful synonyms for sailors in British cryptic crosswords. Okay, anyway, I'm worried I may have anemia, said Tom unironically, because Tom has an iron deficiency. He is anemic. And so he was saying this sincerely. He was sincerely concerned that he may have anemia, that he may have a lack of iron. Okay, so there we go. Tom's getting up to a lot today. Encounter unexpectedly is to run into somebody or something. Something is connected. It has a link or something? I'm not sure. What about this? A kind of column. An op-ed column in a newspaper? Yeah, I think that's probably right. And Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist Peggy. Oh, well, I think Peggy Noonan is herself an op-ed columnist, or maybe just a straight opinion columnist. I'm not sure. Anyway, writes for the New York Times, I think, and visiting the National Museum of African American History and Culture. Say, this is a very short clue to refer to doing something. Visiting the National Museum. Oh, well, I was going to say maybe it's as in the city where that happens. Maybe this is not op-ed. Maybe it's 1D, a 1D column? What does that mean? Maybe I'll leave these for blank for now. I'm not sure what's going on with those. Flat for short. That could be a shoe. And a rugrat is sort of a little impish child. So what does that mean here? Not sure. Blank transfer. And man for one. Consider, deem. An assistant could be an aide, so there we go. And a swirl in a stream could be an eddy, a little whirlpool. Blank of the state, enemy of the state, phrase this, sometimes deployed. And man for one. Oh, the Isle of Man, maybe. Yeah, off the coast of Great Britain, so that could be it. And het up is riled up. Oh, it's connected had an in. So you were connected in a metaphorical sense. You were connected to, someone with I don't know, maybe a job you wanted or something like that. You had an in. Okay, before to Byron. So this might be referring to a particular bit of Byron poetry, but it could be more broadly just a reference to the fact that ere is used to mean before in a poetic context. And that's how I'm getting to it. Okay, here's our final Tom question. You guys are supposed to be the wise men, and these are the gifts you bring a newborn? Asked Tom, incensed. Frankly incensed because of the frankincense that one of the wise men is said to have brought to Jesus's manger in the Bible story. That's very clever. So what is going? What is the Tom deal? What is going on with Tom? Who is Tom? Is that it? Is this? I wonder. Is there some sort of classic character who makes phrases like this? I don't get it. I don't get the Tom bit. Why does it matter that they're all Tom? Anyway, let's keep solving the puzzle. A rugrat is maybe it's not frankly incensed. Blank transfer. Gumbo ingredient. Well, okra is a gumbo ingredient. This looks a little bit strange. To hack off, to lop off, to sort of chop something off in a sort of, I don't know, single motion. I always think of lopping off as being. Something's wrong here. Is this flat for short? Maybe it's not a shoe. It's just these downs just look really weird, and this one especially. Oh, maybe it's in D.C., in Washington, D.C., National Museum of African American History and Culture. Say it must be in Washington, D.C., so that would make sense. And then kind of column, 1D. Is this wrong? Yes, it is wrong. has an in, not had an in. Sorry, is connected, not was connected. That was shoddy. That was an oversight on my part. So kind of column, a ones column in a number. There we go. There we go. Okay, so that had ended up having absolutely no connection to Peggy Noonan. And blank transfer, or wire transfer, financial transfer. Flat for short. Oh, 2D. Oh, that's right. So I was going to say that's like 1D, but that wasn't what this was. So I'm just creating all sorts of tenuous, almost connections here. So 2D, flat, two-dimensional. Flat plane is two-dimensional. Okay, and a rugrat as a tyke, a little child. There we go. So hammer's end, peen as in a ball peen hammer. Okay, there we go. This is all coming together. So this area, I think, is complete and has been fully explained. That's terrible. Oh, no. With 54 down, back to fighting. At it again. There we go. Specialty of clerics, druids, and paladins in Dungeons and Dragons. Magic. These would all be magical sort of characters. Clerics, druids, and paladins, I would think. Prominent part of an apatosaurus is its neck. Apatosaurus is sort of one of the large herbivorous creatures, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure one of the big plant-eating dinosaurs. Okay, electronic dance music. Oh, right, LMFAO. I remember when they were sort of briefly really big. So that must have been their song. Okay. I wonder if they had any other songs anyone ever talked about, but that must have been the big one. Okay, so that was the electronic dance music duo that performed at the 2012 Super Bowl halftime show. Okay. And then if one had an inclination, they leaned in a particular, towards a particular, I don't know, policy or idea, and then home to over 7 billion people is Earth, where we currently are. And there we go. All right. That was a puzzle that I made a bit more difficult for myself than I needed to, especially in this little area down here where I just sort of, for some reason, was determined to misinterpret these answers in ways that were still vaguely plausible, in a few cases anyway, and that were able to stack on one another fairly cleanly. And that kind of thing happens, and it may well have been maybe not intentional in the precise way I did it, but you know, when you get a clue like flat for short, I think the constructor is perfectly aware that that can be interpreted in a few different ways, as could what was the other one that it was flat for short and the column thing. Yeah, kind of column. I mean, there are many. The word column has many different senses, and so you could imagine going in different directions with that. And that's just part of what happens as we move through the week. The crossword gets slightly trickier, but I think I made it harder for myself than I needed to. Anyway, let's quickly review our theme. You cooked this? It's disgusting, said Tom in very poor taste. What do you mean there are no PlayStations left in stock? Asked Tom inconsolably. I'm worried I may have anemia, said Tom unironically. And you guys are supposed to be wise men, and these are the gifts you bring a newborn? Asked Tom, frankly incensed. So I don't really know what's going on with this Tom character. I don't know if there's sort of, I don't know, linguistic terminology in the, like spoonerisms or something like that, where there's a particular person I should be thinking of. So I'm very sorry if I'm missing something obvious, but it's clever. It's a clever little collection of nice, well discovered puns in very poor taste, inconsolably, unironically, and frankly incensed. So there we go. I'm perfectly happy with it, even though I don't understand the identity of this mysterious Tom. So let me know if you do, if I'm missing something obvious, or if you believe in fact it's totally arbitrary and I'm wasting your time and mine by wondering about that particular matter. So anyway, I actually realized I don't have much time left. Sorry, I keep glancing at the clock. So I'm going to move on and try and quickly, I know I've been skipping some of the comments recently, so I'll go through these relatively fast. Ben Ward explains, these are from yesterday's puzzle, of course. Ben Ward explains Hondo is a 1953 Western starring John Wayne and Geraldine Page, with some uncredited reshoots by John Ford. Oh, that's interesting. It doesn't seem to have had a huge cultural imprint, although in one episode of Married with Children, Al tells his in-laws, "Your lives are meaningless compared to Hondo," presumably a quote from the film. Jeremy Moody and quite a few other people actually commented on the proper spelling of ginkgo, the plant, the plant and sort of nutritional supplement or ingredient. And apparently, so ginkgo biloba. Let's see. So the scientific name is apparently GINKGO, K before G. Wikipedia gives GINGKO as an alternative spelling, which is what appeared in the crossword. But as Jeremy suggests, using that spelling in the scientific name, as the clue indicates, is a bit of a stretch. There are quite a few other people who agreed with that and said they were surprised. Phil Laritas says, yes, that ginkgo threw me for a loop as well. And I saw someone else maybe in the, I think in the Daily Solve Discord chat server, say that they were actually held up on that clue because they tried to enter it the more correct way. So yeah, that was interesting, and I wouldn't have been attuned to that. Okay, apparently TTT points out, I missed 42 across. Golfers don't want to go into it. And the answer is sand. Wouldn't want to hit the ball into the sand. There we go. And TTT also explains the pronunciation of B'nai Brith, B-N-A-I, pronounced bin, and the letter A to rhyme with bidet, B'nai Brith. It means children, and B'nai Brith means children of Israel. Fun fact, while bar mitzvah and bat mitzvah are son of the commandments and daughter of the commandments, respectively, a B'nai Mitzvah, children of the commandments, is the title used for a coming-of-age ceremony of multiple children, such as a pair of twins. That's a very good bit of knowledge. Thank you for that. And that's all I had. So there we go. Those are the clues from yesterday's puzzle. That was today's solve and today's video. And I'll be back tomorrow for the Thursday puzzle, where our theme will get, most likely, more intricate or surprising or elusive or complex or difficult or whatever else. We'll have to find out. But Thursday is theme day, so join me for that. Until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Wednesday. Take care.